Hi everyone and welcome to Just Love. My name is Paula and I'm here with Judy. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
Today we have a few more questions to discuss. So first one, what is going on down here with the hybrid program and ET contact? There seems to be very contradictory experiences happening with people.
Yes, Paula, there sure are. The problem is there are two hybrid programs going on. There's a legitimate and genuine ET one and a second fake one from down here, which is known as MyLabs or military abductions. The genuine ETs did originally approach the authorities down here for permission to begin their hybridisation program. This was approved by the Star Council and put in place to assist both Earth-plane humanity and one of the grey cultures to be brought back into balance energetically.
What do you mean by that, Judy?
This grey culture had removed emotion from their psyche after having almost destroyed themselves through too much emotion, just as Earth-plane humanity is doing right now. So balance needed to be restored to both cultures.
What do you mean by too much emotion?
It's uncontrolled emotion, specifically of the negative kind, that's the driving force behind jealousy, bullying and violence from the family, neighbourhood and workplace level right up to the cultural and religious intolerance that is the driving force behind all warfare. Fear is the emotion that drives all of this and is behind the attempts by the authorities to cause people to fear and hate the Greys, hence this fake hybrid program they've set up. The authorities down here basically hijacked the original beneficial program and started their own up, but shifted the blame onto the ETs as being the ones to break the treaty.
So how did they do that?
They did it by using technology taken from crashed ET ships and DNA from bodies taken from these ships. They're also behind a major denial and then disinformation program that's been going on since the 1950s. Many people undergoing these faked abductions are also having genuine ones, so it's very confusing. The fake program is the one using the PLFs, the programmed life forms referred to by Dr. Stephen Greer. These are specifically bioengineered to resemble the genuine Greys to cause maximum confusion and fear.
Judy, how do you know this? Do you remember this from a previous life other than on Earth?
As a Grey working with Earth humans, I've seen it from that perspective. This is why I was so relieved when Dr. Greer began speaking openly about it.
And have you ever had contact with anything from the fake program in this lifetime?
No, not personally, but I know people who have. I've been in contact with a few of the hybrids who were produced through the MyLab program, so I've heard it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And talk about perfect timing, a friend online just sent me a very relevant link, which I'll include when I put this episode up on YouTube.
Okay, that'll be good. So you've spoken about how we are in a shift in consciousness right now here on Earth. We are moving from fourth world consciousness to fifth world consciousness. How are you seeing this play out in your life? What things have changed or are changing for you?
Well, I'm very aware of how time's speeding up and the need for a spiritual meditation type practice to balance things out. I now clearly understand that this is the reason why the Greys advised me right back in 1983 to take up studies along this line, both for myself and also to pass on to others, hence the Tai Chi I teach and the Reiki I do.
Is there anything else?
Okay, what I've noticed too is something that Whitley Strieber brought up in a recent interview when he spoke about how back in the 1970s or 80s, the Greys took him to a point in the future, which is now. He was shocked at how fast and choppy human speech had become. Unless you can retain conscious awareness of this speeding up, it's very easy to get caught up in it.
That's interesting.
I can feel people really spinning out of control in this way, getting more and more hyped up and stressed out, speaking super fast and trying to do 10 things at once. As a result, nothing gets done properly.
That's true. And you advise a meditative practice to balance this out.
Yes, but just being aware is important too. For our own well-being, we need to slow down and be aware. Meditate, spend time in nature, focus on our breath and consciously and mindfully try to slow down our speech. I'm particularly aware of this when doing interviews. Being Australian, I speak with a particular accent and am aware that others, such as Americans and English listeners, might not be able to understand me if I speak too fast. I have this trouble listening to interviews by people from other English-speaking countries. So many people talk so fast, so I try to be aware of this myself.
Good. Okay, Judy, next question. There's a lot of confusion about what is going on and what is true and what's not true. What can you say about this?
Okay, Paula, my ET teacher Maris talked about this many years ago, about sensing into the truth behind people's words, particularly with all the channel messages coming through from ETs, angels, ascended masters, people's own oversouls, higher selves, etc. Maris's advice was, feel into the energy behind the words, whether they're written or spoken. True spiritual information is always uplifting. It does not engender fear. It does not ever criticise or put anybody down. It is not judgmental, and it does not incite prejudice against anyone.
That answer is so uplifting.
As for all the different opinions on when and whether the ETs will come forward openly, it depends upon what happens down here. Nobody can accurately predict the future because what applies now may not apply in a year, 2 years, 3 years' time, or whenever. We create our reality day by day through the way we think and focus our mind, so circumstances change continually. I notice Bashar is very careful about this when he talks about the likelihood of the ETs coming forward in 2026 or 2027 or whenever. He points out that he's taking present circumstances as the criteria, but things can change.
Yes, and things are changing all the time.
That's for sure. The problem is, with so much trickery and mind control going on through the Maya Lab program, people have come out with stories they believe to be true, but in actual fact their heads have been messed with through drugs, holographic imagery or whatever. I can feel that with some of the military whistleblowers who have come out over the years.
Judy, do you mean that the whistleblowers who come out have had their lives messed with, but they believe what they are reporting to be true?
Yeah, in some cases, yes. But you can generally tell when they've been messed with. Not naming names, of course, but a few years ago there was one in particular who wrote a couple of books, and truly he sounded like a robot when he spoke. And the information he put out was just plain rubbish. At the same time, there are some really good ones coming forward now, so things are changing in a positive way.
That's good to know. So if you'd like to read more about all of this, Judy's books are available from Amazon and can be accessed through links on her website listed below. And they are
Human by Day, Zeta by Night, followed by the Zeta Message, then Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and my two most recent books, both Kindle editions and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective.
Thank you so much, Jude, and thanks everyone for listening. Please share, like and subscribe. Sending you much love and bye for now.